Hey, hey, hey. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another live stream, another episode, another show, another topic to discuss. For anyone out there that's catching this live, again, my apologies today for having a little bit of, some technical difficulties earlier on as we were getting ready for the show. It's that time of year. It's Christmas, as you guys can see from Lambo. It's as much as you want to keep the same rhythm going. Things are just in Mercury retrograde. Is that what it is? So, are we even live? What's going on here? Let's see. Please let me know if everything is coming in clear. Oh, okay. There we go. Anyway, just shout out to everyone. Happy holidays. Whatever holidays you celebrate. Happy December. If you're celebrating the end of the year. Whatever you're celebrating. It seems like most people celebrate something this time of year. So, shout out to everyone out there that's celebrating whatever it is you're celebrating. I myself like to celebrate Christmas. I like to celebrate life. I'm always celebrating. So, shout out to everyone out there and welcome to another show. So in today's video, today's live stream, today's show, what we're going to be talking about is paying taxes in Mexico. Now, you already know, I've literally beat this subject, all the way down, worse than a dead horse. So sorry, Lambo. I apologize. Oh, that's not very nice. That's not nice of you. Anyways, we've already beat this subject to death, okay, which is taxes in Mexico. But it seems like, the typical American out there, the typical Canadian, the typical European, for whatever reason, is obsessed with taxes. And taxes in Mexico in this particular case. So we're going to discuss it. We're going to talk about it today. I felt it was probably the best subject to tackle at the end of the year, because the next two live streams that we have coming up is going to be the Christmas party. So, we're a big community here. We're all together here. So for Christmas, we throw a Christmas party. So we're going to have a Christmas party next week. And then the following week, we're going to have a New Year's party. It's not going to be on New Year's because, I'm celebrating New Year's with, other people and stuff. But we're going to be having our New Year's kind of get together, last live stream of the year. So hope you guys are ready for that. But look, remember, today's video, we're just going to be talking about, why, what's the obsession, what's going on with all that? Why does everybody want to pay taxes, okay? But I know a lot of you guys out there probably have, on your mind, the whole question as to whether or not you have to pay taxes. And again, short answer, simple answer is no. No. You don't have to pay taxes, okay? That's it. Again, that's what we're going to be talking about today, because even though that is the simple answer, that is the real answer, whether or not you got to pay taxes in Mexico or not, most people don't want to accept that answer. And that's what we're going to be talking about today, the obsession, what the people have, with taxes. Now, again, I've had lawyers on the show. Well, a lawyer. We were trying to make it lawyers, but that's another story for another day. But yeah, I've had a lawyer on the show. We've gone through, what is it? The official Mexican, documentation, legislation, whatever it is that talks about all this stuff. And I can go on and on. It doesn't matter how much proof you show people. People still want to believe what they want to believe. But the reality is this, the only foreigner or the only person, outside of, any non-Mexican, the only taxes that you owe are if you make money in Mexico. Again, we had a tax lawyer, not just a lawyer, a tax lawyer. By the way, that's José Novelo. That's his specialty, taxes and real estate law. Okay, so real estate and tax law. And again, he's said it multiple times because you guys ask multiple times. And you don't have to pay taxes. Now, if you start a business in Mexico, if you are earning money in Mexico, meaning earning physical money, you have a physical store, you're earning pesos in Mexico, okay? You have a physical entity of one shape, form, or another. That's when you owe taxes. But if you're out here in Mexico and you earn money in the digital realm, in the internet space, okay, you don't pay taxes because that's not in Mexico. That's in the internet. Again, people, what, again, by the way, if you are one of those people out there that is obsessed with paying taxes and wants to pay taxes. Look, of course, if you want to pay taxes, just give money to the Mexican government, they'll take it. Don't worry about it. They'll make something up. Again, for you to, make that donation, too. That's it. That's all it is. So, again, if you want to pay taxes, and you go to the, the SAT, El SAT, okay? That's the IRS out here. If you go to the Mexican tax authorities and you tell them you want to pay taxes and you have, again, nothing to pay taxes on, they'll make something up. Don't worry about it. They'll help you out. That's why there's a lot of misconception as well when people are, talking about this subject. Because, of course, if you just show up to that government agency with cash or money, listen, they'll charge you for something. Don't worry. They'll tax you something. But the reality is that that's kind of how taxes work for everybody in Mexico, because even, real Mexicans, actual Mexicans born and raised in Mexico, it's almost like that, where when it comes to paying taxes, they basically, have to show up to the IRS, the El SAT, and they kind of have to kind of force the issue. You know what I mean? They make it difficult to pay taxes. But again, that's another subject. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about the expat obsession, the foreigners' obsession with coming to Mexico and wanting to pay taxes. Again, I want to reiterate, unless you make money in Mexico, there's no taxes to be paid in Mexico. You follow me? Because the only income, the only tax that they would have is on income. You follow me? But if that income is coming from, again, let's say that you are from the United States and you have a, what you call it, a pension or a social security check or some sort of money coming into you. Listen, that's coming to you, okay, from the U.S. government or the Canadian government or whatever foreign government is issuing that money to you and putting that into your bank account, okay? And that money that's being put into your bank account, okay, is in a U.S. bank account, okay, a foreign bank account. And then you're bringing that money into Mexico. There is no tax. Again, let me reiterate, there is zero tax on bringing money into Mexico. Okay, now let's say you purchase something in Mexico. Yeah, there's tax. Let's say you want to bring something across the border. There's tax. There's tons of taxes. In fact, if you really look into it, you get taxed all the time. You're constantly getting taxed in Mexico, just like you are in other countries. But the reality is that, like, for example, in Mexico, when you go to a store and you're buying anything, whether you're buying food, whether you're buying a new computer, whatever it is you're buying, all the taxes are already included, which is something that you're probably not used to, meaning that when you are in the USA, and you buy a new phone, for example, the phone might be $299, and when you get to the register, it's $299 plus tax, plus fees, plus whatever. That's not how it is in Mexico. In Mexico, it's $299, it's $299, like, period. That's taxes included, fees included, everything included. You follow me? And when you go pay 300 pesos, they'll give you 1 peso in return. Okay? It's $2.99 because everything's included. So you're paying tax on purchases. You pay tax on, other various things, on services, on, I can go on and on. Everything is taxed. Just like in the US, it's just hidden, but it's there. And that's how most of the Mexican government collects taxes from the Mexican people as well. It's through these other manners, these other ways. So that's why when you own a business in Mexico, you run a business in Mexico, all of a sudden now you start having tax problems. Okay? Because remember, you're collecting the tax from the government, from all the customers. So you got to pay the government the taxes that you are collecting, and then you also got to pay the taxes that are due for the business, and I could go on and on. That's why a lot of people as well, what they end up doing is just keeping their business informal. If you are in the informal business market, again, the people selling stuff at the flea market, if you're selling something on Facebook or you're selling something out of the front of your house, whatever it is you're doing, it's basically tax-free. There's not going to be any government agent, coming to any one of these Mexicans, that is selling, what is it, like food, selling anything, you know what I mean? Like selling little trinkets or this or that or whatever. In the USA, yes. In Canada, yes. Even if you're just selling trinkets, you're walking around a touristy area and you're selling something, you got to have a license. You got to have a tax ID number. You got to this, you got to that. Okay? So again, that's what people have the misconception. People think that, everything is, when they come to Mexico, that it's going to be exactly the same as it was back home. And it's not. Like I said, the majority of Mexicans do not pay taxes to the government. Now, the government does collect taxes, because again, whatever it is you buy, there's going to be taxes. And another thing, that's why certain things are more expensive. Let's say that you want to get, a phone, the new iPhone 38, you want to get a brand new laptop, a brand new PlayStation 16, whatever it is you're trying to get out there that's brand new, expensive, whatever, it's going to be more expensive in Mexico. Why? Simply because they tax you. So the minute that you're going to get that PS5, or you're going to get that the new laptop or the new iPhone or whatever it is you're going to get, they tax you on that. And that's why people, they get upset, over that tax, but that's how they collect tax, because it's a very different tax system and they have very different, ways of enforcing it here. Okay. So people got to keep that in mind, so that's the reality. So all of a sudden you're ordering a brand new PS5 and it's coming to you from Amazon, it's coming to you from Sony, wherever. It's coming to you and it's being imported, or you're getting it from the Mexican Sony store. It doesn't matter. In one shape, form, or another, you're paying that tax, the import tax, the regular tax, all these other taxes. And all of a sudden, the price is like 20% more. So if you're going to order a Apple product and it's coming from China and it's coming from, another country and it's being imported here, those taxes are going to be added on to the final purchase price. You follow me? And that goes for just about everything. That's why when I tell you guys, if you're going to order something from Amazon, order from Amazon Mexico. Because when you order from Amazon Mexico, well, all the taxes, all the fees, all that stuff's already included, and you don't got to worry, and you get it shipped immediately. But if you order the product from Amazon USA, and sometimes you have to because they don't have XYZ product here. But anyways, you order from the thing from Amazon USA, and it just takes longer to get here because it has to cross customs. And sometimes, from Amazon's pretty good about this, where, all the taxes, all the fees, all that stuff is kind of included in the price, or Amazon just charges you for that, and it just, boom, it just goes right through. But it still takes longer because it has to go through all that, import, export, the airport, the border, whatever. But then once you're, what was I going to say? But sometimes when you order something, let's say from GoPro, I might order something from GoPro, and it's coming from GoPro USA, and they ship it to me. And when the FedEx guy shows up to my door, he's like, all right, you owe me 850 pesos. I'm like, what the hell? And 850 pesos might be like $40, $50 or whatever, It's like, and you owe that, and that's the import fee, the taxes, da-da. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Mexico is a different country, and people just need to know this and kind of like put it into perspective and know what they're, how the tax system really works out here. So when a lot of Americans, Canadians, foreigners, they're coming out here and they're freaking out about the taxes, and they got to go to the SAT, and they got to get their SAT number, and they got to go pay the taxes, and they got to do this, and they got no, you don't. The typical Mexican doesn't do that. So why do you got to do that? And if the only tax really that is demanded of you as someone living in Mexico, whether you're a Mexican citizen or a foreigner, is taxes on income, which again, I don't want to get into all that right now, but that's it. You know what I mean? Taxation is theft, all right? That's another thing. But hey, you got to pay your taxes, all right? The point is that when it's really only on income, then you got to realize, okay, oh, well, am I making income in Mexico? Am I earning income in Mexico? And the answer is 95% of the time, no. And so then that's it. You don't got to pay taxes. Now, if you have a business in Mexico, okay, like an actual business, and you're registered, and then yes, you have to pay taxes in Mexico. But that's it. Now, for U.S. citizens, the reality is that the only person that you owe tax to is the U.S. government. That's it. If you are a U.S. citizen, you don't pay taxes in Mexico, again, unless you're earning money in Mexico. The one person you do owe money to, no matter where the hell you earn that money, you can earn that money on the moon. The U.S. government don't care. They want their taxes. So you gotta pay your taxes to the U.S. government, no matter where you make your money. So, by the way, if you're in Mexico and you earn money in Mexico, guess what? You got to pay taxes in Mexico. But guess what as well? You also got to pay taxes to the USA. Yeah. So you get double taxed. Okay, believe it or not. Now, fortunately, by the way, hold on, let me so yeah, you get double taxed.
Bruh.
Thank God that the US government is nice. You know what I mean? They're nice to us citizens, and if you're earning money outside of Mexico, in the case of, again, you have a business in Mexico, so you're earning money in Mexico, or you have a job, you work for a Mexican company, then you're earning money in Mexico and you're paying taxes in Mexico. But you still got to declare to the USA that you're making money out here. Now, what I was going to say is that thank God that the USA gives you a $100,000 credit. So the first $100,000 that you earn outside of the USA are tax-free. So whatever money you're making here, whatever money you're making in the in Mexico, whatever money you make in Mexico, okay, as long as it doesn't go over 100,000 US dollars, then you owe nothing to the USA. Now, you still got to do your taxes. It doesn't matter whether you owe money or not, you still got to do them. So that's kind of like the one thing. If you're a U.S. citizen, you got to deal with that. I don't know how it is for European or Canadian citizens, but from my understanding, if you're not there, then you don't pay taxes. But if you're a lucky American, you got it. Like I said, you move to the moon, you move to Uranus, you got to pay taxes in Uranus. Yeah, that's right. And if not, they're going to go to Uranus to get it, okay?
Bruh.
You can bet your bottom dollar. By the way, the reason they never found Osama bin Laden, quicker is because he didn't owe any taxes and he didn't owe any money to, in school loans. But if, Osama out there, he would have owed some money to, in student loans or owed money in, like I said, taxes. Trust me, they would have found him a lot quicker. But again, he knows better. That's why he always paid his taxes. But that's another story for another day. This is comedy, guys. By the way, again, I got a talking horse. Oh, shout out to Greg out there with a $20 super chat. So, by the way, people probably are wondering if I got to pay taxes in Mexico on that $20. The answer is no, because I am getting paid in the USA. This is a U.S. company. Remember, this is Google. So in a sense, Google which is an American company, pays me. So that means I'm earning money in the USA. So that means I pay taxes to, come on, the USA. That's right. Good answer, guys. Good answer. Good for you. All right. You guys are learning. You guys are doing good out there. All right. I'm glad you guys are starting to pick it up. Hold on. Let's. Oh, look at that. Greg. Great question, by the way. Again, shout out to you. Thank you so much for the $20. Hold on, we got to do the obligatory DJ horn. Trading stocks. That's a great question. So again, when you're trading stocks, okay, sorry. I had too many words that wanted to come out at once there. Okay, if you're trading stocks, it depends on who you're trading stocks with. So let's say that you're trading stocks with TD Ameritrade or Schwab or I don't know, an American company, and you're an American citizen. So that means you're earning money or losing money in the USA. Wink, wink. No, but I mean, that's how, no, that's it. That's, by the wink, wink, I'm not saying legal, illegal. No, I'm just saying that's the legal definition of all this. Okay? Everything is legal that we're talking about here. If there's anything wrong, please someone correct me. But it's all logical. People over confuse this. People, again, it's really very easy. Logical. So again, Greg, trading stocks in the USA, again, TD Ameritrade or whatever other US company. Well, then guess what? You're doing these transactions. Everything's going on in the USA company. And it doesn't matter what country you're in. You can be in Spain, in China, in whatever country. It doesn't matter. You're doing this through a U.S. company. And you, in this case, are probably a U.S. citizen. So then, therefore, it's the U.S. that you got to declare all this to. And no other, Mexico has nothing to do with any of this at all. Follow me? So, again, if you're losing money, making money, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? You declare your losses to the U.S. government, to the IRS. So you tell the IRS, again, you have losses to declare, okay, because you were trading, okay, U.S. stocks or Bitcoin or whatever it is you were trading, but it was in a U.S. company. Now, it gets a little complicated if all of a sudden now, let's say you're trading, let's say you're in Mexico, even if you're not in Mexico, but whatever, you're trading in the Mexican stock market. Well, now it's Mexico, so now you owe taxes to Mexico, and I don't know how that works, because remember, we were just talking about income before. So now let's say you're trading in the Mexican stock market, or you're trading Bitcoin in the Mexican exchanges, then yeah, you owe probably money to Mexico. Now, the good thing about Mexico is that they basically charge you taxes from my knowledge. When you're trading Bitcoin, at least they charge you all the taxes and all the fees right there. So you don't got to worry about having to declare this with El SAT, which is the Mexican tax authority. Now, as a U.S. citizen, then you probably have to do something there. You follow me? So that's kind of like how it works. It's always the U.S. The U.S. is the one that you got to worry about. And if you're not a U.S. citizen, then my God, why are you even watching this? You know what I mean? You got nothing to worry about, because most countries, in fact, the only country on earth except for Eritrea, it's like a tiny country nobody gives a crap about. But anyways, the only real country on earth that taxes its citizens no matter where the hell they are, it's the U.S. of A. All right? Every other country, that's it. Once you're gone, you're gone. Why? If you're from Spain, if you're from Canada, if you're from any of these countries and you're not in your home country, that government says, well, why are we taxing you? You're not even here. Which makes sense to me, but I don't know. I'm not here to, pick a fight with the U.S. government or the IRS. I don't care. I just follow the law. That's it. Which is what I encourage you guys to do. And what I encourage you guys to do is always study the law. Okay, study what's out there, and trust me. You know what I mean. You don't see me hating on this subject. You know what I mean, at all. You know what I mean. I got shit. I don't give a crap about the IRS in the sense of like I do my taxes, I do what I got to do, and that's it. No big deal. I'm more afraid of other government agencies. If you follow my drift, I'm more afraid of the police. I'm more afraid of all the other agencies with guns. All right. I can give, the IRS is fine. They're just the accounting, whatever. And sometimes you do it right. Sometimes you don't. At the end of the day, there's always ways to make it right. That's it. The only people that go to jail for taxes are those that literally do not want to pay or are fighting the IRS and not paying and just being very difficult. Okay. That's it. You know what I mean? But the reality is like, yeah, no, it's why would you go to jail? They make it so easy for you to pay the taxes. Now, again, I'm not telling you whether you agree or not. On the taxes and all this other stuff. I'm not telling you about. That's not what we're talking about here. We're just talking about, they make it as easy as humanly possible. If they got to put you on a 7,000 year payment plan, they'll do it. But yeah, no, you know what I mean? Like, come on now, don't get me started there. But that's it. You know what I mean? Oh, okay. MJ Lee says Australia taxes its citizens working abroad. Oh, there you go. I did not know that. Thank you for letting me know. So Australia and the USA will both tax you. So that's what I'm saying. If you are from the USA or Canada, USA or Australia or Eritrea, whatever country, it's like a tiny African country. Anyways, if you're from one of those three countries, then you got to pay taxes no matter where you are. And this is the reality of it. Okay, but I guess, like I was telling you guys, in Mexico, you're getting taxed on all these things that we were talking about earlier. But when it comes to you, okay, a foreigner that's in Mexico, you don't pay taxes. You don't have to go to the SAT. You don't have to do your taxes in Mexico. That's not a thing. That's barely a thing for the average Mexican. Why would it be a thing for you? Why would they force foreigners that can barely speak the language or are barely, they're not as integrated within the economy as other real Mexicans? Why the hell would they make you, pay taxes? And it's not just that. Again, the follow-up question, the question that nobody ever wants to freaking ask is like, what the hell are they taxing you on? What is Mexico taxing you on? And that's the thing, you know what I mean? Like, no one can really answer that, you know? But they're not taxing you on anything. So that's why you don't pay taxes. That's it. The end. They only tax on income or on money earned. Okay? So again, you run a business. You own a business. You make money in Mexico. You might have investments in Mexico. Whatever. Again, make money in Mexico. That's it. Those 3 words. Make money in Mexico. So unless you make money in Mexico, you don't pay tax in Mexico. The end. Again, if you're getting a social security check, a pension check deposited into your U.S. bank account and you are transferring that money here, you're not making money in Mexico. That's money you're getting paid out by your own government to your U.S. account, and then you're moving it here. No tax on that. Please, people. I'm sorry I get upset, you know, because it's like, I don't know why I even gotta do all this. But anyway, shout out to Greg. Thank you very much, brother, for the $20 super chat. Let me see some other questions out there. West Coast Mex says most won't charge you taxes if you pay cash unless you purchase an import and pay with. Yeah. So that's another thing too. So many companies. So that's the thing. I didn't even know about this. Like a dumbass, you know. Remember, I always tell you on the show. I'm always talking to you guys on the show. Like, if you go to no matter what the store, even if you go to a major department store, I am not talking about Walmart or Costco. I'm talking about Mexico. Okay, Mexican department store, Mexican stores, Mexican anything. If you go to any Mexican place and you pay in cash, you get a major discount. You get an actual discount. Okay, as opposed to if you pay with credit. If you pay with debit, even if you're paying with debit, remember, they're getting that money immediately. But there's a paper trail, therefore taxes. Okay? So if you pay digitally, you got to pay the extra fees. If you pay in cash, you get the discount. And you just made a great point, West Coast Mex. That is mainly the reason why, you know, you would be getting that that discount, because you're not paying that tax, because they're not paying that tax. You follow me? All right. Thank you, West Coast Mex. Shout out to you. Much appreciated. Shout out to everyone out there. Thank you. Shout out to David, MJ, West Coast, Greg, Mark Johnson, Vladimir, Texas Blonde, Debayska? Debbie, a.k.a. Debbie? I don't know. Sorry, Debbie. Anyways. And all the other 50 plus people watching out there. Shout out to you. Shout out to everyone. But by the way, please, okay, every time I do a live stream, the forum is open for you guys, okay, to ask me questions, okay, whether it's follow-up questions or questions regarding the topic we're talking about. So if you guys have any questions, okay, regarding taxes or anything that I said, please feel free to ask me. That's what this is for. You know, for us to not just talk about these subjects, but to answer questions and, you know, make sure that, you know, we are all as, you know, best educated on the subject as possible. So Benji Smith says, is Merida 50 kilometers from the coast? It is not. It is closer than 50 kilometers. You have to go deeper, okay? I think it's right on the edge of the 50 kilometer thing. So Zed? Okay, anyway, Zed says, I'm a dual citizen. I have a bank account in Mexico with less than 10,000 US worth of pesos. Should I file the FBAR with US during tax time? You know, I'm not too familiar on the FBAR thing. I know about the FBAR, and basically from my understanding is if you have more, okay, than $10,000 at once, okay, in any, you know, Mexican accounts or what have you, then you have to file an FBAR. But look, the reality is like this. You know, don't get me started on what I really think about the, you know, all these things, okay? The reality is this, okay? Once you open up a account in Mexico, okay, as a U.S. citizen, okay, you're a U.S. citizen, you open up a bank account in Mexico. Listen, the U.S. government already knows that you have a bank account here. And the reality is that how it really works is that how it really works is if the IRS, determines that you at any one time have had that happen, you know, that threshold, you know, $10,000 or more happen, then at that point, they can ding you for it. And so that's why they want you to have the FBAR. The FBAR is more like, again, it's scare tactics, okay? Meaning they're kind of baking you, forcing you, everyone, to file the FBAR every year or file the FBAR period. Like as if they don't know that you have a bank account in Mexico. They know. Trust me, they know everything, okay? And so that's the thing. So again, I'm not a tax advisor. I'm not. I don't know anything. I don't know nothing. So please, again, it's a guy with a fake talking horse. Yeah, don't be taking advice from me. Okay, so again, don't be taking advice from me. All right, me, my horse, my puppet back there. Come on now. But the point I'm making is that, there are, certain things that you can do. Okay, meaning that, again, if you know that you're, around that threshold or what have you, then probably file. In my case, I haven't filed that because I'm poor. I never had that much money like that, in one sense, for me to, even have to declare. So I really haven't worried about that. You understand what I'm saying? So, but that's the thing, they could still ding me or ding someone like me and be like, hey, how come you haven't filed your FBAR? We're like, well, I didn't know that I had to file it. Oh, but what do you mean you haven't known it? It seems like you know about it. Yeah, but and then and look, at the end of the day, you have that discussion back and forth, and at the end of the day, the most that they can do is be like, all right, shame on you. Next year, you got to do the FBAR. Or be like, shame on you. We don't believe you. F you, Jose. F you, whoever. We think that you owe this amount. And again, if you fight it and you really whatever, you might, go and you might have other problems to deal with. The reality is like they show up with like a major tax bill. Look, you got to pay it. And that can happen to anybody at any moment, at any time. Okay? For any reason. Don't get me started there. Okay? So just be aware of that. Okay? Just be aware of that. Okay? So that's why I always like, follow the law, do everything as possible. But again, you know what I mean? Like, you got to remember that this is how it works. Okay? They are the tax professionals for the U.S. government. And they're expecting you, a citizen that doesn't know jack shit, okay, to do this, to do your taxes and to do your whatever. Okay? And when you get it wrong, again, a lot of people are under the misconception that you are going to be paying these major penalties. No, the reality is like this. It's like, again, if they know you did something wrong, if you are really, if you're doing bad stuff, you're going against them. Then yeah, they're probably going to come down on you with a big fat hammer. But if you are basically saying, hey, look, I'm willing to pay the tax. Hey, look, I'm sorry. Hey, I didn't know. Hey, I'm trying. Hey, I'm this. Hey, I'm that. Then the reality is that most likely, they're going to be like, again, it depends on the agent you get, and the severity of the penalty. But it's just going to be a penalty. Like I said, whether it's a slap on the wrist or you got to pay some money. But that's it. It's when you're doing really illegal things, when you're doing like a lot of bad things, that's when you got a problem. And again, it's still not a problem because again, if they catch you doing a lot of bad things, you say, hey, oh, you caught me. I'm sorry. What do I owe? What do I, la da da da, and then that's it. You know what I mean? Again, you could probably still get out of it. You know what I mean? It's not that bad. It's only when, again, you're really, really fighting them. You're really, really like going against them. You're really, really doing illegal things. Like, okay, come on. You know what I mean? Then obviously, they're going to come down on you with the hammer. But that's kind of like the IRS. But at the end of the day, with the FBAR, look, man, my advice to you is this. What is it? Contact or speak with a real tax professional. Now, not a Mexican tax professional, because a Mexican tax professional has no clue about any of this. And even if they do, that's not who I would hire. That's not who I would trust. This is U.S. tax law, U.S., this U.S. IRS, U.S. So you need a U.S. tax lawyer to really advise you on what to do here. Okay? And get yourself a good tax not a tax lawyer per se. It might be a tax professional, a real accountant, But again, you got to make sure you get the right accountant. Look, if you get there's two different types of accountants. The accountant that doesn't know anything and is just going to be like, all right, you owe this amount of money. Or the accountant that, the people that have money have, which is the accountant that basically says, all right, you owe like $15 or you owe whatever. Because again, the reality is that like if you know the tax code and you know how to do your taxes, you really don't got much to worry about. Again, you're paying taxes, paying a lot of taxes. But there's ways around this whole thing. You just ask any rich person. So it's the same kind of thing. Get yourself a real tax professional that's really going to tell you what you need to do and how to do it, and do it legally. Legally, okay? Let me emphasize, never, never, ever, 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 ever try to think that you're going to outsmart the IRS or the government or anything. No, no. Everything that you're doing is going to be 1 bazillion % legal, okay? And that's it. And that's a misconception a lot of people have. You know, all these rich people out there, or anyone out there that knows how to work the tax system, knows how to play the game, you see that most of the time they're not paying taxes, and it's all legal. I mean, look, I mean, like the tax code is like 7 million pages, and it's only like 10 pages that shows you how to file your taxes. The other 7 million pages of the tax code are how not to pay your taxes legally. And that's it. Just please, you know, like look into it yourself, okay? But yeah, I hope that, you know, what is it? Like, I hope that shed some more light on that. I think a lot of people out there, let's say you're coming out here, you're buying a home, you know, you got money coming into Mexico. Yeah, you're probably going to have to file an FBAR. But if you're in a situation like me, no way. You know what I mean? Like, no, you know what I mean? I haven't had $10,000 or more in a bank at any time, period. You know what I mean? And since I've been here. So, all right. So let me see. Also, Zed, you know, you're a dual citizen, you know, so with that being said, you know, you like I said, you really just should look into, you know, talking to a real tax professional to help you more on that issue, just in case, okay, just in case, because that is kind of messed up that they don't allow you to have, you know, more than $10,000 in Mexico without having to declare it to the U.S. You know, that's kind of like, you know, big infringement on rights, but hey, you know, that's not what we're talking about here. You know, again, it is what it is. You still got to follow the law, right? So, you know, you might have to get a little creative there, you know. Let me see. I'm reading some comments real quick. West Coast Mex says you can come and buy gold here in Jalisco, and you can avoid taxes by paying cash, and it's worth paying in cash. Yeah, and not just Jalisco, you know, there's other parts, you know, that sell silver, and it's the same thing. It's extremely cheap, no tax, no nothing like that. But yeah. And again, it's not just gold and silver, you know, everything. Everything is the same way. If you buy direct, you're not paying tax. They're not charging you tax. The typical Mexican doesn't collect tax, you know, or pay tax, so... Pirate says, but now they got me on their sites. Yeah. So, but yeah. I'm guessing you're just talking about what I was just saying there. So yeah. But yeah, guys, you know what I mean? That's kind of like the situation there. You know what I mean? It's really not that complicated, you know, when it comes to like taxes in Mexico. In fact, have you noticed, you know, the only complication that I've been having here, you know, talking about taxes, has been paying taxes in the U.S. You know, that's it. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. Don't be taking my tax advice from me, you know, on any of that, because it's a very complicated issue as the U.S. taxes, okay? U.S. taxes, okay? But when it comes to Mexico, it is not complicated at all right? At all. Again, I've had tax professional here on the show literally telling you guys the same thing. In fact, that might be a good, yeah, don't forget to hit the thumbs and subscribe if you haven't already. But anyways, in fact, that might be something to look forward to next year. We might have José Novelo on, the tax professional, just talk about taxes. Just talk about taxes, okay? And that's it. You know what I mean? And you're going to see, it's mostly you're going to be talking about foreign stuff. You know what I mean? Not really anything here. And it might be a video or a live stream that might not even get that many views, because people are going to quickly realize, oh, wait a minute. You know, unless I'm doing, you know, a few things here, I'm not really... there's no tax for me to pay. You know what I mean? And that's really the case. Yeah, for example, West Coast. So the taxes that you would be paying in Mexico, which again, you're paying them on site. It's like, let's say you're buying a house. You're going to be paying taxes on the house. You know, once you own the house, Once you own the house and you have, let's say fideicomiso or whatever, you owe taxes on that house, but you don't go. I mean, in fact, where do you go to pay taxes? I don't think you go to SAT. You go to whoever is doing your fideicomiso, basically the bank, and I think you pay the tax, aka the property taxes, to the bank, because the property taxes are already paid by the bank, because they're the ones that through their taxes, okay, the bank's complicated taxes, okay, they pay that tax already for you, so they're not forcing you to go through this whole process just to pay your property tax. No, just pay the bank will pay for you. The end. You know what I mean? So Maze One says, if I did over $10,000 with the dollar app, does that count for filing in the US? I'm not quite sure what you mean. No. I don't think so. That's a pretty good question. I'm going to tell you know what, Maze One, that's a really good question. Okay, with the dollar app, I don't think so, because the dollar app is not a bank. So really what you're doing is that you're putting that money and you're putting it into USDC coin. So you're really turning that US dollar, you're turning it into a cryptocurrency. And then eventually you're turning that cryptocurrency into Mexican pesos or dollars. In fact, the only one you're going to owe money to would be, again, the US government. And maybe you might owe money because you bought and sold crypto. But I don't know if that works, because it's a stable coin. Like I said, you know what I mean? Like, all these questions just get overly complicated with the US. Mexico, you got nothing to worry about. But if you're talking about the FBAR, no, I don't think you would. No, the FBAR is non-applicable to the dollar app because it's not a bank. Okay? You're not putting that money in a bank. You're putting it into an application. Okay? You're basically just buying a cryptocurrency. Make sense? So it puts you in a different tax situation there. Gotta love the US and their, 7 million pages of tax code, which they keep adding and adding on to. So shout out to them. David says, you can buy a house within 50 kilometers of the shore. You just have to put it in a trust. Correct. So you have to put it in a fideicomiso, or you can also buy it under a corporation, which is still under your name. So for example, you and your wife, U.S. citizens, okay, that are both U.S. citizens, and you don't even you've never stepped foot in Mexico, you can still open a Mexican corporation. And through that Mexican corporation, you can buy a house within the 50 kilometers, and it's your house, not the bank's trust. So that's another way to do it. So you can do the fideicomiso, you can do the corporation, or if you don't want to do either of those, then you got to go outside of the 50 kilometer threshold, and then you can put it into your name. Okay? Are property taxes paid for every year? Yes, they are. Yes, they are. But it's very little, See, look, let me see. There you go. See, David says his property taxes are $32 a year for a house. So, yeah. So that's the thing, like, I hope that, that kind of puts some more... So the reality is that, look, so now talking about a little bit more about the subject, the title of the video, meaning what is the obsession with paying taxes? When you are an American or a Canadian and you're coming out here and you're freaking out constantly about paying taxes in Mexico. Why is that? Why do expats go through that? Why do they experience that? And I think it's because of having to deal with, again, the IRS, or having to deal with their own taxes in their own country and their own tax enforcement agencies, and how they enforce things, how much they get taxed, just the whole system as a whole kind of puts you, basically traumatizes you to the point where, you go to another country that has a completely different tax system, and yet, until you get used to the new tax system, you're still dealing with that trauma, or you're still dealing with that again, I don't know what else to say except for, you're dealing with that trauma, of dealing with taxes in your own country, and you think that it's the same or worse in another country. And what do I mean by worse? Well, because it's in another language, a bunch of things that you might think might make it worse. But the reality is that, once you're out here, you quickly realize that there is no taxes to pay. There is no IRS that you need to be worried about unless you earn money in Mexico. Like I said, you have a business in Mexico. That's it, really. Or you work for a company in Mexico. But a lot of people just don't want to believe that because they come from, their own country, and they're, rule followers. They love to follow rules, and they come out here, and then it's the same thing. They don't even want to take the advice of a Mexican. They are obsessed, with wanting to pay taxes, and then you got to pay taxes, and the taxes are for the roads, and the taxes for whatever thing that, is in their mind as to why they want to pay taxes. And again, I am not anti-tax. I'm not anti any of that stuff. I'm just letting you know that, things work differently out here. And that, if you're an American, for example, or an Australian in this case, as well, the one entity that you need to be worried about is your own country, is the taxes that you owe to your own country. Okay? Whether it's, again, the IRS or whatever the tax authority is out there in Australia, that's the only one you really need to worry about. And look, let's say that you're in Mexico and you're earning money, you're making money, and you're doing things already that would, again, generate an interest by the Mexican tax authorities for you to come and pay taxes. Well, then listen, how it works in Mexico is that basically, if they think that you owe taxes and they got proof that you owe taxes or that you should be paying tax, they'll come and they'll knock on your door, on your business, on your whatever, and they'll let you know. And they're not going to be asking for retroactive taxes. They're not going to be putting you in jail. They're not going to do any of that stuff. They're just going to be letting you know. In fact, they're going to interview, be like, hey, what are you doing? You got a business? You got a this? Yeah, oh, okay. Well, look, you got to go and you got to pay taxes. Oh, I didn't know that. Don't worry about it. It's okay. We understand. But as of you got 30 days to comply. Or 60 days. So you need to go to the tax agency, get your tax number, pay your tax, and we're going to come back in 90 days and we're going to check on you to see if you actually complied or not. And if you don't, you get a fine, you get in trouble, you get whatever. But it's something that, again, once you fix it, and that's it. It's not a big deal. And then you deal with it, similarly as you would in the USA. So again, once you own a business and you got to pay taxes on a regular basis, on a quarterly basis, it's basically the same as the USA. Okay? That's it. When it comes to paying taxes, declaring taxes, very similar system. But it's not every Mexican, it's not every person out there that pays taxes in Mexico. So this is the same thing for foreigners. Again, you have to be in a very, very special category for you to pay taxes. Otherwise, you owe nothing. In fact, they don't want you in the tax office clogging it up for everybody else. Again, obviously, if you're going in there and you just want to donate money to the Mexican government, they'll take it. But if you're just there inquiring or this or that, listen, they don't want you there. They don't want you there. There's no need for you to be there at the tax office. Okay? So, just FYI, guys, all right? So, please keep that. So. By the way, David, it seems like you have a trust and you pay the property taxes. So your property taxes, when you have to pay the taxes, who do you pay them to? Do you go to the SAT office, the Mexican IRS, the Mexican tax office? Or do you go to the bank, pay the bank, and the bank is the one that deals with the IRS? And the Mexican IRS, which one is it? You pay the bank or do you pay SAT for your property taxes? All right. But again, just to show you exactly, because I just took a stab in the air, okay, as to who he would be paying tax to. I'm guessing he's paying tax to the bank. Let's see let's ask him, because he actually owns a house and apparently he's paying taxes out here. So let's see what he has to say. Once a delay and eventually he gets this, all right. So in the meantime, let's see what other comments are in. That's right, Maze 1. That's right. He goes, hey, most Americans, most foreigners, coming into Mexico are just suffering PTSD from the IRS. Just the whole tax code. The thing is, I mean, come on, you're an American. You deal with that. If you work for a company, okay, if you work for a company, you get your taxes taken out of your paycheck all the time, and then you got to file your taxes, in order for you to get money back, the money that they took from you, that they borrowed from you. And then if you own your own business or you're whatever, you got to pay taxes in the USA and you got to deal with the IRS. So, I mean, yeah. And then all these complications that, again, depending on the type of hat that you buy will depend on the type of tax that you have to pay in the USA, for example. Okay? Like there's different taxes for Santa hats as opposed to baseball caps, as opposed to sombreros. So. Okay, David says, I paid my property taxes online. I paid my trust to the local bank. You see? Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So basically, it's even easier. Okay? It's even easier than what I said. So he basically just pays the bank. And the bank takes care of everything for him. So there you go. Thank you, David, for letting us know there. Benji says, didn't know if Mexico would consider minors in a trust because I'm not married. Funny part is their mom was born in Mexico but came here as a baby with a parent. Okay. So yeah, because someone was saying earlier that, David said that in the trust that you bought, okay, when you bought the house and put the house in the trust, that same trust, your kids are automatically probated into the trust. That's awesome. That's great. So you don't got to worry about any extra paperwork. It's already there. Speeding in progress says, hello from Henderson, Nevada. Hello. Been there. I wish I could say I've had fond memories of Henderson and Vegas and that whole area, but I really don't. But I was there. I lived there. I was there for a while. Shout out to you guys out there. So it's really crazy anarchy out there in the desert. That's one thing I found out because I come from Miami, and Miami is like Mexico. Very, it's anarchy. It's just, But when I went to Vegas, when I went to that area, the desert, when I was there in the desert, because, I didn't live in Vegas. I lived outside of Vegas. Anyways, when I lived out there, I was like, oh, these guys are real animals out here. And this is the desert. Like, yeah, they'll make it disappear. It was just crazy. It was not for me. All right. And I got out of there alive, thank God. Nothing crazy happened per se. Well, actually, a lot of crazy happened. So I can't wait for, by the way, next year, so in a few weeks, I'm going to be doing a brand new show on a brand new channel. Okay. In fact, let me bring it up here so you guys can go check it out. So if you guys, okay, so right now on this channel, obviously we talk about Mexico, living in Mexico, life in Mexico, yada, yada, yada. But there's so many things that I have in my mind that I would love to talk about, and stories of, like living out there in the desert and things like that, for example. And, I would love to talk about them. But, I can't really talk about them right now. We're talking about taxes. But, there's going to be a show where I'm going to be able to do all this anyway. So, look, there it is, okay? It's brand new. I still have it's going to be ready by next year, okay? In a couple weeks. It's been a very busy month, which is good. I thought it was not going to be busy. It's been very busy. But here, let me. I'm going to put a link in the chat. That link is going to take you straight there. So please, subscribe, hit the bell icon, so that way once I start going live next year, you guys don't miss a thing. And we're going to be talking about all kinds of things. I have a bunch of crazy stories. Oh my God, books. We could write books, okay? Might as well start documenting them one shape. I might as well start documenting them at least, through, my show. And we're going to be talking about all kinds of things. It's going to be a fun show. You'll see. I'm calling it a show. I don't want to, it's not a podcast, okay? I feel like that term is already overplayed. So it's going to be a show, okay? And if you guys know, what's up, I think you guys will thoroughly enjoy it. and it's going to be definitely different and new. It's not going to be like these live streams here. But please, go on right ahead and like, subscribe. Go subscribe, hit the bell icon, whatever. Just get ready. And every single live stream to the end of the year, we're going to be continuing to talk about this and bringing it up. And the next 2 episodes on this channel, they're going to be a little bit of pre-season. Okay, so next week on this channel, we're just doing the Christmas episode and we're doing the end of the year episode. We're going to start doing a little bit of practice. All right, meaning, we're not talking about, you'll see. Just hang out. Just join me here next week, and then, like I said, join the new channel. Like I said, by early January, we're going to start making shows. We're going to be doing live shows on that channel. Okay, and it's going to be once a week. Okay, so once a week we're going to be doing a live show on that channel, and we're going to go with that. Now, on this channel, we're still going to be doing everything we do here. Okay, so we're still going to be doing our live streams, talking about Mexico stuff. We're still going to be doing everything that we do here. Okay, so all the videos every Sunday. In fact, we're going to be doing more videos this week. This Sunday, I got a brand new interview. A brand new, tour. We got the house tour, we got the interview, we got the neighborhood tour, so we got the trifecta, okay? We got all of them, all right? So we got the trifecta coming up this Sunday. I know those are your favorite episodes, so we're coming up with that coming up now, this Sunday and next year. Again, we're only 2 weeks away from 2024 here, but next year, we're going to be having a lot of new changes to the channel. I don't have to be making video. What is it? I don't have to have like special announcements or whatever. No, you guys will see the changes as they happen. Okay, that's it. Don't worry about it. Tune in to find out. But the changes are going to be for the positive, meaning that it's just basically, just giving you guys more of what you want, which happens to be what I like to do. You know what I mean? So I think, it's going to be a fun 2024. I got, the beginning of this year, the beginning of 2023 was pretty crazy. And man, I don't even, we'll talk about that more in the future episodes, but long story short, I didn't think I was going to still be doing videos by the end of this year. And again, sure enough, not only am I making videos still at the end of 2023, but I'm making some of the best content I've made ever. And my God, I'm definitely looking forward to next year. And I hope you guys are as well. And that's it. But that's it. That's right. The trifecta. We got Hanson out there in the chat. Shout out to him. And he's going to be helping me produce the show. So I'm looking forward to that. So again, please, go check out Jose Unleashed. Okay. But yeah, we got Mr. Hanson out there. He's going to be helping me produce the show. And I'm gonna see if I can upload a video here to the channel to give you a little bit of a taste of what's to come. And that's it. So, yeah, we're going to figure out as we go forward what we're going to do here when it comes to next year, at the beginning of next year. Because at the beginning, I've been trying to take some time off this month, because it's the end of the year. Come on, I got to take some time off. I can't work all the time. I'm forcing me to take time off. I can work all the time, okay? Literally, I can, okay? I'm forcing myself to take some time off, okay? So with that being said, I'm going to see if I can take the last week off, okay, of the year. I'm still going to, like I said, do the live stream, whatever. But I'm going to see if I can take the last week and the first week off, okay? So we might not have any live streams the first week, okay, of January. But that's only because, I'm taking some time off. But we are going to have videos, okay? But yeah, like I said, once I get back from my break, which you're not even going to know I'm on a break because I'm going to have content, showing up anyway. But once I get back, man, we're gonna go. All cylinders go. I'm excited. I'm really excited. That's why I'm forcing myself to take a break because I know next year is going to be, very hardcore. We're going to have so many things coming up. So, all right, let me see. MC says, hey, just wondering if you can smoke in resorts or on balconies. Yeah, of course. Look, people have a misconception about the smoking law ban that they had in Mexico a while ago. Look, like I said, and I've said many times before, Mexico is a free-for-all, meaning you could do whatever you want. But as it's modernizing and really becoming a first world country, it's just passing certain laws that have been laws in most of the world for a long time. So when they had a smoking ban, listen, all they did was basically pass that same smoking ban that they have, in most parts of the world already. Meaning, you cannot smoke in a restaurant. You can't smoke indoors at XYZ place. You can't smoke at, the pre-K kindergarten. You can't smoke inside a hospital. That's all they really did. But at the end of the day, just kind of used common sense that you can do the same kind of smoking in Mexico that you do in the USA. So, for example, let's say that you're in a hotel room, okay? You're probably not going to be able to smoke your cigarettes in the hotel room. Now, you have a balcony, yeah, go for it. Who gives a crap? What's the worst that can happen? Sir, you cannot smoke here. That's it. But that doesn't happen in Mexico. It is so rare for something like that happen in Mexico. But long story short, yeah, you can most likely smoke in the balcony. Unless it is a smoke-free property full of a bunch of Karens that are probably going to tell the owners of the hotel, hey, we got the guy in room 182. He's smoking on the balcony. I didn't come all the way from Wisconsin, for someone to be smoking on the balcony. I can see him all the way across on the other side. So again, you know what I mean? That's basically it, okay? But you can smoke anywhere and everywhere. In fact, I have yet to hear of anyone getting any kind of fine or any kind of trouble or any kind of anything when it comes to smoking. The end. I'm talking about smoking cigarettes, but, whatever. So I hope that answers your question, okay? So you can smoke. Don't worry about it. West Coast Mex says, Jose, did you hear the Mexican electrical company is going to sell yearly internet for 1,000 Mexican a year? Cool. We'll see. Yeah, David says, the last thing I would want is CFE to have my internet. Exactly, No thanks. I'm sure that's great for some people, it's very affordable. But it's okay. All right. I'll stick to my $30 a month, okay? To make sure I got fast internet so I can live stream to you guys, all right? Are you kidding me? If the power company has, if I'm paying to the power company, yeah, I'm going to be showing up in like 244p, or whatever, 240p, right? 144p. Here, in fact, I'll show you. Hold on, let me see. Here, look, this is, let me see if I can do it. Power company. Hold on. Look, if I'm gonna be showing up in like 244p, or whatever, 240p, right? 144p. Perfect timing.
Bruh.
Okay, so yeah, no, it's all right. Thanks. Hey, that's great. That's great for for many people out in Mexico. But I'm good. I'll pay, easy or whatever. Yeah, exactly, David. Yeah, no smoking at the airport, no smoking, whatever, that's it. Is it going to Planet Hollywood Cancun? Well, like I said, you're probably not going to be able to smoke in certain areas at the Planet Hollywood, But I'm thinking, look, listen, bro. I smoke on the balcony at the Planet Hollywood in the USA. Why wouldn't you be able to smoke here? Don't worry about it. Again, that this is part of the obsession with taxes and everything. People are just so obsessed. Like, I'm gonna get in trouble. Well, they're gonna arrest me. Like, again, what's the most that can happen? What, they tell you to put it out? And then you got to do like the actual Planet Hollywood in the USA and go downstairs and smoke with the bus boys and the other employees of the hotel. So yes, you can smoke outside the airport. Again, people, man, I guess there's a delay. But yeah, man, that's the other thing. It's like, people just overly obsess with all of this. Look, in the USA, if you're smoking in a non-smoking area, the minimum, you're going to get a fine. And you're going to have to pay that fine. The maximum, which could happen, you'll get arrested for smoking in the USA. In Mexico, they don't even know how to even give you a fine for that. They're probably not even going to say anything. A Mexican cop, for the most part, doesn't even want to work, let alone come to you and like try to scold you. And if you really are one of those constitutionalists, you can tell the guy to go F himself and you're going to smoke and do whatever the hell you want. And technically, depending on where you are, you're probably right. And so, like I said, most cops are not, it's not like the USA. They got no power to really enforce anything. Like I said, you get a corrupt Mexican cop and he's going to make you pay him money right then and there for you to smoke. And then it's up to you whether you want to do that or not. So, and again, it's not smoking, it's everything. 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 Including taxes. Like I said, the law says unless you're earning money in Mexico, you got no taxes to pay. That's it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The people that are obsessed with this are, again, I get it. They got the PTSD. They got trauma from dealing with the tax agencies and taxes in the USA. But that's not how it is in Mexico. You know what I mean? Like, at all. At all. Okay? Not just with taxes, but anything. Period. The end. You know? So. Yeah, there you go. David says, look, I was watching a cop directing traffic and smoking a cigarette the other day in public where it's supposedly illegal, right? You know? So, yeah. Really, what the law is more about is so that now private entities, you know, like the airport, a hospital, a hotel, okay, they can designate no smoking, and now they have a law or some sort of legal backing so they can say, hey, you can't smoke here. That's it. It's not the hotel policy. It's just you can't smoke here. That's it. That's it. That's really just for that because, again, Mexico's anarchy. You know what I mean? So you can really do whatever you want. But now that there's like a law, you know what I mean? And then, you know, they got something to kind of like, you know, hey, you know, can you not XYZ? Can you please whatever? You know, hey, look, there's a law. It's not me. It's whatever, you know? And again, even if the cop shows up, the cop's like, bro, you're calling me to enforce a cigarette. Anyways. And again, even if, like, let's say you owe taxes or whatever, let's say a neighbor, you know, calls on you, calls the cops, they'll be like, hey, you know, one of my neighbors has a business in their home, and I know they're not paying taxes, da 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 da, and they call the cops, like, what the hell? The cop is going to be like, why are you calling us? Why are you? Again, you do that in the USA, and they're going to show up, okay, and they're going to knock down little Susie's lemonade stand because she is not paying her taxes. You know, it's a different world out here. So. No, but listen, no, by the way, you can smoke at the airport. I smoked in the airport. Okay, by the way, don't get me started because I was, anyways. But yeah, I smoked in the airport before, okay? And outside, okay? Outside, all right? And I don't smoke cigarettes, okay? I just, you know, I don't, in fact, stay tuned. You know, for, you know, the upcoming show so you can hear exactly why I was smoking outside of an airport in Mexico City. By the way, I'll just tell you now. I forgot. It's Mexico content. Actually, we missed a flight. We missed a flight with Aero Mexico in Mexico City. Don't get me started. Just thinking about it still pisses me off. But yeah, I literally had to ask for a cigarette from some random dude, you know, outside of basically, you know, you walk outside the airport, like walk outside, you know, the airport terminal. Yeah, so anywho's, yeah, you guys really got nothing to worry about. So not just smoking, but, you know, taxes or whatever other thing you worry about, okay? Whatever it is. It's Mexico. And like that's the one thing I love so much about Mexico, that it's like that. You know, they just don't take any of these things seriously. And even if there is some jackass, some authority that is trying to take all these things too seriously, they're limited in their power so that, you know, even if they want to, they can't. You know what I mean? Take it too seriously. So, you know, sorry. So, but again, for a lot of people out there that are all about law and order and everybody got to, you know, do their taxes, everybody got to follow and comply, you know, whether it's smoking, not smoking, you know, whether it's their tag, whatever it is, you know, they're obsessed with their HOA. Listen, that's not how it is in Mexico. All right? That's not how it is. Okay? And that's why a lot of people come to Mexico and they hate it because, you know, they can't, you know, enforce that authority that they have in the USA. No. Sorry, Karen. All right? You can go back to the USA, all right, if you want to act that way. That doesn't fly here at all. Okay? So, Oh, there you go. There's a designated smoking area outside of CDMX Airport. Just used a few. There you go. See? There you go. Thanks, Robert. Yeah, but mine was a long time ago, actually, now. Thanks. But thank you for the more current, what is it, like, situation on smoking at the airport in Mexico City. Shout out to Robert By the way, I know I see you all the time. I'm sorry. I just see you as Robert. I just call you Robert. All right? Robert V. Shout out to you, brother. All right? But I think that's it, guys. I think we're going to wrap this bad boy up. This is the last, kind of like topic episode of the year. Next week, we're going to be celebrating Christmas. So next Thursday, we're doing the obligatory Christmas party. So next Thursday, join me at 7 p.m. Eastern, and we're going to be, sharing libations together, and having a Christmas party. So I hope you bring your ginger ale, your cigars, whatever, and we're going to enjoy that. And then the following week, we're going to be celebrating the end of the year. I'm going to be doing a little bit of a special live stream where we're just going to go down memory lane, and we're going to just kind of like go through, what we did this year. That's it. And obviously more libations. Again, 7 o'clock as well. So bring your libations the next 2 weeks, and I hope you guys are ready to have fun. And we're going to be just talking about, the end of the year, just the whole year, 2023. And we're going to be sharing and talking, if you guys have stories to share, you guys want, talk about whatever, we're going to be doing that. Okay, so we're going to be talking about Christmas. We're going to having a Christmas party. It's going to be great. And then the following week is a New Year's end of the year party, and that's it. And then, I got 2 videos coming up. Okay, I already got the Christmas video coming up ready. Okay, so this week, we got a house tour. We got the house tour, interview, trifecta, neighborhood tour. Then the following week, we got our Christmas episode. It's not really Christmas. By the way, hit the likes, if you haven't already. It's a special episode, all right? And then we got our end of the year episode as well. Okay, so Sunday. So Sunday is the 24th. We got an episode. Sunday the 31st, we got an episode. And then next year, you already know, we got episodes, okay? And like I said, I'm probably going to be taking a little break from the live streams, in January at the first week. But we're going to come back strong. And like I already told you, we got the show. So please, don't forget to go over to José Unleashed if you haven't already. Go subscribe, hit the bell icon, because, again, starting next year, mid-January going forward, mid to late January, we're going to start the show. And every week, we're going to have a new show. So please, join me there if you haven't already. Shout out to everybody. We only got 18 subscribers. We need more subscribers. Hope you guys make it. Looking forward to seeing you guys there. And I think that's it, guys. So you already know the deal. All right? American Top Gunner with the last question says, did I buy property in Mexico? I did not, because I don't have that kind of money yet, but I will. I plan to. Is it dangerous? No. It is more dangerous in the USA, in my opinion. And then he goes, just moved to San Diego, I guess. Would like to visit, but I'm alone and don't speak the language. Well, you made it to the right spot. You should check out the rest of my channel and check out my website. And on my channel, you're going to see all kinds of videos that I publish every week, talking about living in Mexico and how awesome it is in Mexico, and giving people reality checks and really telling people how it is. And at the same time, I got all kinds of tools for you. Again, here, let's go check it out real quick before we end this. Go to my website. Again, josearteaga.com. All the links are down below. In fact, let me just provide the link right here for you, American Top Gunner. And, on my website, you get free resources, okay, for living in Mexico. If you want to have a personalized consultation, if you want to, again, help to support the show. But again, let's just go to free resources of living in Mexico real quick. And you can just find out everything you need to know about, like, again, finding a home, what you need to know before renting. Let's say that, you need, a banking solution. Let's say you need an apostille. Let's say you need, to learn how to speak Spanish. Well, I got a little special earbud that you can, kind of like learn the language. If you need a lawyer, if you need jobs, if you want to learn Spanish for free, whatever. I got it all for you guys. So please, So welcome aboard, American Top Gunner. Shout out to you. Welcome aboard to everyone out there. Shout out to everyone out there. Much appreciated. Looking forward to seeing you guys here next week. Looking forward to seeing you guys on Sunday. Looking forward to seeing you guys all the time. I love you guys, and I hope you guys are looking forward to seeing me as well. Well, I'm guessing you do because you're here all the time, which is great. So, with that being said, guys, you already know the deal. We got to get out of here. I got work to do. So, if you like this kind of content, don't forget to please like, please subscribe, please share, please hit the bell icon. But more importantly than anything else, please stay awesome. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one. And you already know. Bye. Wait, bye, guys. There you go. Bye, guys. Thanks for watching. Oh, I got to stop.